Hi guys, welcome to a new tutorial. Now we'll be sewing this dress on the thumbnail. This is the style inspiration my client sent to me. Now you have to have an inner for this, the color of the fabric you are using. So we are going to be sewing this fabric. I have same or similar fabric to this. This is what we'll be learning how to make today. Now let's get started. So it's a kaftan bubu, and I'm going to be working with this fabric. It is folded into two because it is not enough, so I'm folding two separate each. I'm going to be placing the second one on it. Our front and back is into four, but if you have enough fabric, fold into four directly. So the next thing I'm measuring is from the center of your back neck to where your sleeve length will get to. Now I'm using 26 inches in total, so always measure your client, or you can use yourself as an example to measure where you want your sleeve length to get to. Now it is from the center of your back neck, then you now take your tape all the way to where your sleeve length will get to. Most of you already know how to do this. After that, I went ahead to cut the remaining fabric that I don't want. So this is me cutting it, because the total length, the wideness is your sleeve length, then while the length of the dress is your full length from your shoulder to the floor length. Now this is the second one. I'm placing it on it so I can also cut out the wideness, that is the width. So this is what I am doing. After that, we are now going to be taking our bodies, our measurements on the fabric. So the two is going to be placed on each other while I am going to be measuring all the needed measurements. So let's get started. Now I'm going to roll 1 inch from the starting line. That will serve as my shoulder line, and I'm going to be rolling it. So from there I went ahead to mark 3 inches, because it's a v-neck. I don't want too much opening. 3 inches for the neck width, and I'm going to be using a shoulder of 8 inches. On the shoulder point, I'm coming down by 1 inch. Then I'm going to place my ruler, and from the neck width to the shoulder of 1 inch all the way down. Now if you don't want this shoulder slant, you can just use like 1 inch on the extreme end there and slant it all the way to your neck width. But if you want something like this, then let's continue. I use 1 inch for the back neck depth. So for the V, guys, I'm going to be using 7.5, because the picture on the thumbnail, the V is not too much, and because of the nature of this fabric, you don't need to have a very wide neck, because so that it will not fray or it will not gape. So I use 7.5. You can use 8 as well. 8 is fine. Then after that, guys, on this shoulder slant, that's why I said if you don't want this much slant, just use 1 inch from the shoulder points, come down and connect it. So for the sleeve opening, I just measure my hand where the sleeve length is going to get to. So whatever I have there, I added 2 inches to it. I divided by 2, then I added 2 to it. So that is me marking it. But if you want it wide, your round sleeve, divide it by 2 and place it there. After that, I went in by 2 inches and I went down by 1.5. That's just to give me a good curve. This is what I normally do. Most of you that have watched my tutorials on bubu, I normally curve like this. I'll go in from the sleeve by 2, then just come down by 1.5 and curve. Then the next measurement is taking the hip depth. I'm using a hip of 25 inches. That is the length. So I mark the hip length. Then on the hip line, I post my client's round hip measurements, and I added 5 inches. So I'm going to, what I have on that line, I'm going to extend it all the way down. Then I went ahead to connect it to the sleeve like that. I hope you understand. Bubu is very, kaftan bubus are always easy to sew. So like I said, I use the same measurements all the way down and I roll the line. Now this is me using my ruler to roll it. After that, guys, we are going to be cutting now. But before I cut, since this fabric is, I think is a bit expensive, I don't want it when my client to tell me it is too small on their body, because the picture is very wide, right? So I just mark from this sleeve measurement that I measured before. I just went in by 3 inches. Yes, from this edge here I went in by 3 inches and I now roll it. So that is the new line I'm going to be using. I connected it all the way down because it is better when it is big than when it is too small. If they tell you it is too big, it's something you can just hole inside. Do you get? Then I connected it to that sleeve opening. Now that is the new line I'm going to be using. I don't want to use the initial line I marked. So after that, I went ahead to cut it all the way down. Then we are going to be cutting the neck now. Now the first neck we'll be cutting is the back neck. Cut it together with the, cut both fabric together. Now you have to use, if you fold your fabric into two and you place them on each other, you have to pin. So I did not cut directly on the shoulder line. I added ½ inch sewing allowance. Yeah, can you see? I'm not cutting directly on the shoulder line. I added ½ inch then before I cut. Now the next thing is to cut the front. So I just raise one of it up and I now cut that V neck shape. So guys, after cutting it, we are going to be removing the back from the front. Then we are going to be joining the shoulders together. So can you see it? Now this is the V. It is not too much. It is okay like that. So you place the back on it and we're going to be joining the shoulder. So join the shoulder with ½ inch. It's the ½ inch you added for sewing allowance. Now that I've gone ahead to join the shoulder, now before we sew the side and hem the sleeve and the down parts, you're going to give it to people that do tinko. Embroidery guys can do it, but they have tinko people specially that do that design. So you give it to them to do the design for you. Then you now bring it back and you now hem the sleeve. You sew the side and the down parts. So this is it after giving to the tinko guy. It is looking all neat and beautiful. Can you see it? So my client is going to wear an inner that she have. Bye guys.